I'm a fan.
Welcome to this week's edition of Track of the Wolves with your voice of the Wolves. That's me, Ben Root. Last week, another good one to be a Wolf as the men and women of NSU performed well in their athletic competitions. Checking some Friday action, your volleyball team picked up a second win over the top-ranked team of the nation. This time, they defeated Concordia University St. Paul in a 4-set match. Carrie McGarvey led the way with 19 kills. Mandy Kurosky piled in 15, and Kelsey Chambers dropped in a dozen to go with 16 digs and a double-double. That victory snapped a 27-match losing streak against those Golden Bears. No letdown Saturday either. NSU swept Mankato without a single player getting into double-digit kills on Saturday. Tori Biach with 9 kills, McGarvey and Kurosky each with 8, and Northern now 19-0 on the season. Ranked second in the nation, though, behind Tampa, just a few points behind them. Northern football team, meanwhile, piled up a season-high 55 points thanks to a season-best 352 yards rushing as they took down Crookston on the road 55-21. Wolves got 99 yards on the ground by Steven Erlinson, who ran it in twice. Shaka Kelly had 3 touchdowns and 90 yards rushing, and Christian McIlvain piled up 93 yards on the ground and found the end zone once as well. Cam Pudwill also with a rushing touchdown, and Kyle Levan threw for one, connecting with Connor Doherty for that score. Joe Parsley and Alex Bernstein helped out on defense with interceptions as well. Northern soccer team snapped their 5-game losing streak with a double overtime win against Bemidji State at home Saturday. 2-1 the final in that game. Darian Leszewski ended up scoring in the 114th minute of play for the win. Anna Bondi had the assist there, and Allie McDonald also scored in the first half. Then Sunday, just one overtime, and this one goes the way of Crookston. They beat Northern 2-1 in the single OT. Allie McDonald scored on a penalty kick in the 51st minute, putting NSU up 1-0. Golden Bears, though, got a penalty kick of their own to tie it up a few minutes later, and then ended it in the 99th minute there in OT. And finally, your NSU swim squad had a quad in Moorhead starting their season over the weekend. Wolves' top finishers were Kayla Sproles and Kalina Emaus. Now, Sproles recorded the team's top finish with a 4th-place finish in the 50 free. That's a look at last week's maroon and gold activity. We'll talk more of the Northern sports here, including a couple of volleyball ladies joining me in a moment here on Track of the Wolves.
Being part of a great team means you know your role and you work your role to the best of your ability. If you're consistently going to show up and be your best, you're going to be part of that team. You can see the success they have over time. It's not just 1 year flash in the pan. It's consistent success over time, which makes them great. And that's where the work ethic comes in. The ability to come into work, do the same thing repeatedly day after day after day, and putting your best foot forward is going to separate you from the rest.
Choose the experts. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to Track of the Wolves, and today on the program we're talking volleyball again this week, getting set for another busy weekend of volleyball action hitting the road, and we'll talk about that upcoming schedule shortly. But joining us on the show, Tori Biach, junior outside hitter out of Florida, and also from Duluth, it is sophomore outside swinger Mandy Kurosky. Thanks for coming on the show, you two.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Couple of big matches this past weekend here at Walks Arena. You had the big win over Concordia University St. Paul. They were ranked #1 at the time. You take them down in 4, then you beat Mankato in straight sets on Saturday. What one word would you use to describe your feelings after the win over Golden Bears on Friday?
Excited.
And definitely it was exciting for sure.
Was that bigger to you that it was them, or was it bigger that you're knocking off the #1 again? Because last year, man, 2 heartbreakers.
For me personally, it was because it was them. When I was a freshman, we beat Duluth at their place when they were very highly ranked. And I wanted to beat Duluth again when they were #1, but just that taste in your mouth that Concordia's gotten away from you every single time you've played them in the last few years made it even better.
How about for you, Mandy?
I would agree with that. I grew up watching a lot of Concordia volleyball since I was like two hours away from them. So it was just the fact that it was Concordia. It was pretty cool that they're #1 too, though.
And same thing, she's talking about the Duluth win. for you, being from Duluth, might be a different story. Was the Duluth win bigger for you then? Or?
Oh, yeah, it was very personal. Yep.
Like a movie this time, it's personal. All right. Well, big wins either way, and some people say home court advantage maybe a little overrated, but I was watching the webcast being on the road for the football team Friday, and over 2,000 people out there. That make an effect in that win?
I think it definitely plays an effect. When you have that many people being that loud, and most people in our conference don't have an arena like we do where that can fit that many people that have crowds like that. So for them, it must be different, unsettling maybe. So it's definitely nice to have so much of the community and the school behind you.
Great crowd out there, and we've seen a couple of them. We had the one earlier this year where it was the I can't remember what it was, but they got in free with their football ticket or whatever, and I was out there, and that was a big crowd too. So did you think they were kind of shaking out there, Mandy? Because it seemed like they were hitting a lot of balls out, especially early on, just kind of long balls.
Yeah, Concordia always seems really calm, and they laugh a lot, and they always seem very calm. So I thought maybe they were confident that they would pick it up, but I don't know. We just played our game, and they couldn't stop us. So.
Yeah, and they win the one set, just 25-23, kind of eke out the third one in year three. Yeah. All pretty lopsided ones that you took there. Of course, there's always a concern next day you go into a game, maybe take it too easy, especially Mankato coming off getting swept in Moorhead, so they had something to prove, and then really dominate them in straight sets. What did Coach tell you kind of between the matches to get you prepped to make sure there was no letdown there?
He's always nervous about the letdown, so he definitely harps on it about not letting down. I mean, definitely every opponent you have to approach the same. You have to be just as excited. But when you have a big win like that the night before that feels so great, you've got to make sure you take care of that win because, if we lost the next day, then it would just have been like we lost to Concordia and beat Mankato. So every game is just as important as the last.
Did they have you watch tape or anything before?
Yeah, we always do. We always do film a few hours before, and we can watch it the week before online and stuff. So we always prep for those games.
So it's funny, coaches say, hey, one game at a time or one match in volleyball, and it's, hey, let's watch both films because we have two coming up this weekend. So yeah. They're lying to me sometimes. All right. AVCA had their poll come out, of course, this week and put you at number 2 despite what some of us think. Behind Tampa, losing to teams that you've beaten, but still you're second in the country. You look at cup half empty or cup half full, each of you?
Well,
half full.
Yeah, I personally look at it half full. I mean, all that is a coach's vote. I mean, when you look at records, we're the number 1 team in our conference, in our region, and in the country. So that is enough for me. We were like one coach's vote from being one, and that is above and beyond anywhere close that we've ever been to that. But definitely for me, being from Tampa, being recruited by University of Tampa, it'd be nice to get the chance to play them at the end of the year. I would enjoy that as much as she enjoys playing Duluth.
Yeah, I'm super thankful that we're number 2 because it's awesome. Like, we didn't know how we were going to be at the beginning of the year, so we just need to keep doing what we're doing, and we'll get it soon enough. Talking
to Tori, Biach, Mandy Kurosky here on Track of the Wolves, and one person that has yet to join us on the show, I think she always has conflicts, Drew Smith, who's apparently trying to win enough Player of the Week honors to give one to everybody on the team. Is she? How often does she surprise you? Is it like every game, or I mean, sometimes I know as a hitter, I'm not expecting sets when I play. Just when I play high school, whenever I played, you guys have to just be on your toes all the time, or what?
You have to approach every time like you're getting the ball, and then you cover, because the whole point of our offense is even if you know you're not going to get set, like even if coach was to pull you into the huddle and say, we're setting Kelsey, you have to approach because you want to hold your blocker if you can. And then the other thing is we're outside, so if the pass is bad, we're going to get
every
the ball.
time.
So, I mean, so we have to be ready always. Yeah. If that ball is at the backcourt, we're about to get that set. So it's always important to be ready on the outside.
Yep.
So this week, it's one of those rare, 3-match weeks where you get Crookston on Tuesday, and then, or Moorhead rather, Tuesday, and then road trip this weekend, and SMSU, which will be tough on Saturday. How does Coach alter your practice this week?
He put us short on Monday. We didn't have to lift because yesterday, since we have a game today. And then every single practice that we have, it's altered towards what we're doing and what those teams do on us. So we've already played Moorhead. So yesterday we did like some of the stuff that they did when we played them last time so that we could work on it. And he just keeps it really like team focused on each team that we play.
And then he also realizes that on a week like this, there's not that much to be gained in practice. Like we don't have that many practices this week, so it's not like we're going to make that many strides. It's all about us. So he doesn't want to wear us down when we have 3 games in a week, because then by Saturday you're just broken and you can't play, limping around. So definitely a lighter week of practice and lifting when we have this many games.
Yeah.
Now, with the 3 matches, is he give you like a number of swings or anything like that, or is it just kind of easing up on the lifting? Or
he jokes about pitch count. He tries to keep the swings down, but he doesn't say like an exact number. Like last week, Tori and I took like 61 swings or something a day.
Yeah, and then so then the next practice he's like,
no.
Every ball has to go to middle or right side because we took so many swings the day before. But
so it just keeps it down a little bit.
As we get to wrapping things up here with Mandy Kurosky and Tori Biach on Track of the Wolves. You know, you've both been on the show before, so we've already talked movies, and I know Tori loves the reading and everything there. And so, my other love, food. What's the best place to eat around your hometown, you know, Duluth and Bradenton? Or anywhere in your neck of the woods?
My favorite place in my hometown is Sweet Berries, which isn't really food, it's ice cream. But it's the best ice cream place in town if you're ever in Bradenton, Florida. Sweet Berries is the best place to go.
So dessert, all right.
Yes.
How about you, man?
Oh boy, I'd probably say Grandma's. It's really popular. If you've ever heard of Grandma's Marathon. Okay. Really good chicken Alfredo.
Cool.
And our personal favorite in town, my father's house.
Exactly. If you're ever in Aberdeen, check it out.
Check out Mr. Biach's kitchen.
You got to look that up in the phone book. He did tell me to go to Charlie's when we went to Florida this past year for my birthday and everything, but we didn't go there. We went to Frenchie's, which I heard from somebody else, and sorry, but Frenchie's was really good.
I'm sure it was. There's lots of good places.
Seafood in Florida, how can you kind of go wrong? But how about if you're on the road? Where's your favorite place on the road? Do you have a particular place you like?
We eat a lot of the same things on the road because a lot of the places are the same. Personal favorite of mine is noodles. It's better than a sub for me.
Olive Garden.
Oh yeah, that's good too. That's our treat.
Yes,
yes. That's the prize jewel of food.
Always seems to be the pasta places too.
Oh, yeah.
And what would be your favorite meal?
Breakfast. It's definitely my favorite meal. Pancakes.
Okay.
Biscuits and gravy. Any breakfast food.
Mine's beef stroganoff. My mom makes really mean plate of that.
Cool. Well, and I got to ask Mandy, any more plans for the hair changing again at any point? Or I like this color. This is a good one.
To be determined. I'll probably go back blonde, honestly.
Okay. And who does it? Is it someplace in town?
My cousin's a cosmetologist, but Kelsey Chambers has been helping me out here. So.
And you haven't convinced her to change hers yet?
No, not yet.
Hers is easy too because it's so light. But
yeah.
Oh well. Oh, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Let's look at volleyball action. We'll look at the upcoming schedule for the ladies in just a moment here on Tracking the Wolves.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why.
These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
Welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Let's see what's on tap this week in Northern sports. Coming up on Thursday, the swimmers will make their way back to Moorhead, Minnesota this time to compete against Concordia College. Then, interestingly enough, the team will head back home this Friday and host MSU Moorhead. Northern volleyball team is going to hit the road this weekend. Friday night, they're at University of Sioux Falls Place. And Saturday, it's a clash against those strong Mustangs of Southwest Minnesota State. On the gridiron, Northern has a contest Saturday afternoon at 2:30 against UMary. It's Military Appreciation Day at Swisher Field for that one. And as always, the game will be at ESPN 1420, 1071, and ESPNaberdeen.com. And the Wolves soccer team is going to host University of Sioux Falls coming up on Saturday. Then they'll bring in SMSU for a contest on Sunday. And lastly, your cross-country teams are going to do battle in the NSIC Championships. That's coming up in St. Paul this Saturday. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Track of the Wolves. To stay up to date on the latest Northern sports notes, join me again next week right here. But until then, as always, go Wolves.